Your hands are cold at the dinner table when nobody else is cold. Your feet need socks in July. You warm up slowly, cool down quickly, and the coldness doesn't change with extra layers or a warmer room. It has been there so long that you've stopped seeing it as a symptom and started accepting it as normal. Most people hear the same explanation: poor circulation, take a walk, stay hydrated, maybe it's Raynaud's. The conversation usually ends there. What is rarely considered is that regulating body temperature is one of thyroid hormone's primary jobs. Persistent cold hands and feet, especially when paired with fatigue, weight changes, and mental sluggishness, are often not a circulation problem disguised as thyroid disease. They are a thyroid problem disguised as poor circulation. The active thyroid hormone, T3, controls thermogenesis, the process by which your cells produce heat. Inside every cell, mitochondria generate ATP, the body's energy source, while releasing heat as a byproduct. T3 regulates how efficiently this process runs. When T3 levels are adequate, enough heat is produced to keep both your core and extremities warm. When T3 is insufficient, heat production falls. The body preserves warmth around vital organs by reducing heat to the hands and feet. The result is someone with persistently cold extremities, despite normal room temperature and otherwise intact circulation. The blood vessels work. The heart pumps normally. Blood reaches the hands. But the tissues lack enough active thyroid hormone to generate sufficient heat. This is why hypothyroid coldness differs from poor circulation. Treating impaired heat production with circulation support is like replacing the plumbing when the boiler is broken. The pipes were never the problem. The differences become clear when you know what to look for. Poor circulation usually follows vascular patterns. It is often worse on one side, improves with movement or direct warming, and may come with pale or bluish skin, hair loss on the legs, slow healing wounds, weak pulses, or calf pain while walking that improves with rest. Thyroid-related cold intolerance is different. It is usually symmetrical, affecting both hands and both feet equally. Warming them provides only temporary relief before they become cold again. Peripheral pulses remain normal, and the coldness is rarely the only symptom. Instead, it appears alongside a broader pattern of slowed metabolism, fatigue, constipation, weight gain despite no major dietary change, dry skin, brittle or thinning hair, brain fog, and a voice that gradually becomes deeper or rougher without any obvious illness. For many people, cold hands and feet are simply the first symptom they notice because they are impossible to ignore. The rest of the signs are often blamed on stress, aging, poor sleep, or personality rather than recognized as parts of the same condition. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the leading cause of hypothyroidism in many countries, adds another layer of confusion. Because the immune system gradually damages thyroid tissue, hormone levels can fluctuate over time. During periods of inflammation, damaged thyroid cells may release stored hormone, briefly causing warmth, sweating, or heat intolerance. As those hormone stores disappear and the damaged gland produces less hormone, cold intolerance returns, sometimes more intensely than before. This alternating pattern of feeling too warm and then too cold is one of Hashimoto's most overlooked clues. Warm episodes are often blamed on anxiety or hormonal changes, while cold periods are dismissed as poor circulation. The connection between the two is frequently missed. Hashimoto's also produces anti-TPO and anti-thyroglobulin antibodies, markers that are not measured by a standard TSH test. Someone can have a normal TSH while autoimmune damage is already progressing, leaving persistent cold extremities unexplained because antibody testing was never performed. Raynaud's phenomenon deserves special attention because it can exist on its own or develop alongside thyroid disease. In Raynaud's, cold temperatures or emotional stress trigger excessive narrowing of the blood vessels in the fingers and toes. The fingers typically turn white as blood flow decreases, then blue as oxygen levels fall, and finally red when circulation returns. This sequence of white, blue, and red distinguishes true Raynaud's from simple cold sensitivity. Primary Raynaud's occurs without another underlying illness and is usually uncomfortable rather than dangerous. Secondary Raynaud's is linked to conditions such as scleroderma, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's syndrome, and hypothyroidism. Identifying the underlying cause is essential because treatment must target more than the blood vessels alone. Hypothyroidism can increase vascular sensitivity, making cold-triggered spasms more frequent or severe. If Raynaud's develops alongside fatigue, weight changes, constipation, or other signs of hypothyroidism, a complete thyroid evaluation, including antibody testing, is far more informative than relying on TSH alone. The thyroid test most people receive measures only TSH, but TSH reflects the pituitary's signal to the thyroid, not how much active hormone your cells are actually using. A normal TSH does not rule out impaired thyroid function. Someone may have poor conversion of T4 into active T3, elevated reverse T3 blocking hormone activity, or early Hashimoto's with significant antibody damage while TSH still falls within the laboratory reference range. All three can produce the same slowed metabolism, fatigue, and persistent cold extremities. When thyroid involvement is suspected, a more complete picture comes from measuring free T3, free T4, reverse T3, anti-TPO antibodies, and anti-thyroglobulin antibodies. Free T3 reflects the hormone primarily responsible for cellular heat production. Antibody testing can identify Hashimoto's long before TSH becomes abnormal, while reverse T3 may explain why some people continue to experience hypothyroid symptoms despite apparently acceptable thyroid hormone levels. Another useful clue is basal body temperature. A healthy resting body temperature averages about 37 degrees Celsius, or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Consistently low morning temperatures, measured before getting out of bed or eating, may suggest reduced cellular heat production when combined with symptoms such as cold hands and feet, fatigue, constipation, or unexplained weight gain. Basal temperature alone cannot diagnose thyroid disease, but it provides another piece of evidence that your body's metabolism may not be producing adequate heat. It is information your body is providing every morning, yet it is rarely considered during routine evaluations. When persistent cold extremities are dismissed as poor circulation, treatment is often directed at the wrong system. People may be advised to wear compression stockings, exercise more, or take medications intended for vascular problems, while the underlying issue, reduced cellular thermogenesis, remains untreated. If the body's ability to generate heat is impaired because active thyroid hormone is insufficient, improving circulation alone cannot solve the problem. More blood-reaching tissues that cannot produce enough heat will never fully restore warmth. This is why the pattern matters more than any single symptom. Cold hands and feet rarely tell the whole story. They often appear alongside fatigue that sleep does not fix, mental fog that makes concentration difficult, gradual weight gain despite no major dietary changes, constipation, dry skin, thinning hair, and a metabolism that seems to have slowed across nearly every system in the body. Viewed separately, each symptom has dozens of possible explanations. Viewed together, they form a pattern that strongly points toward thyroid dysfunction. Recognizing that pattern changes the next step. Instead of assuming poor circulation or accepting cold extremities as normal, it becomes reasonable to investigate thyroid function more thoroughly than a single TSH measurement allows.